Tactical gear is polythene style. Let's start again. Tactical gear seems to consist of polythene style hand grips and synthetic style hilts in general, and sort of short swords. There is a one exception to that, a sort of long sword, long blade. What's it called? Apocalypse tactical sword. It's on certain HEMA channels anyway, so there is an exception to that rule, but in general, 80 to 90% of the tactical blades are short swords, and single-edged, but there are double-edged versions too, and those double-edged versions definitely exist. It's just more common to have the single-edged style, and false edges exist, which you can use for like a Wittig kind of thing in Filipino, or like a false edge style cut in WMA, short edge attack, things like that. But generally, the general pattern, it's only going to be a quick video, the general pattern recognition that I notice in a lot of things, like in Kumite Shotokan, the pattern is a sort of Gyakuzuki reverse punch in a linear way, similar to Western fencing, and in Japanese judo, the pattern is the turn, the classic sort of turn with like a shoulder throw, or any throw but this sort of turn, which is a bit of a kamikaze thing. But then the lunge in Western fencing and the lunge in Kumite karate is also a bit kamikaze, in the sense that you sort of have to sacrifice a bit of safety in order to get the technique to succeed. So that's for another video. But in terms of pattern recognition, which was what those bullet points were all about just then, the pattern of so-called tactical gear is in general short swords, in general single-edged, although there's false-edged versions and double-edged versions that absolutely exist, and long-bladed and longsword versions that absolutely exist, but they're more rare, more sort of outlier kind of examples that, again, I'm not saying they don't exist, they absolutely certainly exist, but they're more rare and not the common trend. The common trend is single-edged and short swords, with these polythene, the sort of plasticky synthetic style hilts and hand grips, and sometimes very simple, usually guardless, like no sort of big basket hilt or bowl hilt, but sometimes have a very simple D guard or like a floating D guard, like on a Polish saber. So you can have very simple sort of D guards, or very simple that kind of thing. But it seems to be a sort of minimalist style with modern materials for the hilt. Yeah, that's tactical gear. And then sort of, as I say, like a sort of cuirass, a modern style cuirass, sort of vest style armor. It sort of, there's like glimmers of neoclassicalism or neo-antiquityism in it, neo sort of, like Neo-Gladius or Neo-Xiphos or the ancient Greek. There's like some sort of very subtle metaphysics kind of full circle, between the ancient and the modern, so it's almost like it's disguised itself, but it's like the ancient stuff in new packaging, if that makes sense. That is kind of metaphysically, that looks like what's happened, in my opinion. But yeah, just to sum up the so-called tactical gear, and I'm not getting into some WMA channels may or may not have accused tactical gear of possibly being a marketing gimmick, and I'm not getting into that at all. I'm just saying that the common threads, the common ground, the common bullet points of the tactical gear is synthetic materials for the hilt, synthetic materials for the body armor, the cuirass, and I'm right here, Mum. And you said 20 minutes and I'm timing it, and now my video's destroyed now.